I started calling this band blackened death metal around 92, or because I wanted to point out that we were not the typical Swedish death metal band.
Joachim of NECROPHOBIC, thank you so much for your time today. You're all rested because you were able to recover from a ton of interviews in previous days, but you just told me before we started that you've got a little bit more time today, which is great. It's exciting to see so many people, have this buzz when a new NECROPHOBIC album comes out. So let's just keep it simple to start. How are you doing in this crazy roller coaster of promotion and live up to the release?
Yeah, the promotion started on December 8th last year. But before that, we had already stuff made. I don't recall exactly what day we started with this material, but it has been a massive campaign and social medias and and tomorrow the album is out, but that doesn't mean the promotion stops.
No.
Yeah, it's communication with the label on a daily basis. There's Excel files with all the days. This will happen on this day, and that's a collaboration between us on the social medias. And then I have the interview schedule. The rest of the guys also have this, but I am doing most of the interviews and I handling the social medias. But it's fun because you have such energy because it's a new album release, and it's fun to talk to everybody and hear their reaction and
exactly
if they have heard it already, or there's 3 digital singles out, so
the Excel sheets and social media platforms, the magic of being a rock star. Awesome. Now we've got the 10th album. We also have basically 30 years, last year I think 30 years is the first releases of the band. I know that you like to celebrate on your social media, and you like to celebrate anniversaries of classic albums and stuff like that. Does that then mean that your own milestones like this, that they are also important? Like, do you care about those?
Yes, we care about anniversaries, but we are not. The new album is the 10th, and the band is turning 35 years old, I've been told, this year. But nothing extra will happen because of that. In this case, because the new album is out tomorrow.
That's a priority.
And we have tons of shows to play. But we will not do anything special because of the band, because we cannot do every time there's an anniversary. We cannot skip the original plan.
For sure. I mean, once you have the legacy that you have, then basically every year there is a 30th anniversary of something that you can celebrate.
I said so in another interview that there's always something having an anniversary. So.
Yeah. Something I just want to really quickly check with you, because I don't know if you would care about that at all. I find in most cases artists don't tend to care as much as the fans, at least. But NECROPHOBIC always starts this let's call it a conversation between the fans of like, NECROPHOBIC, it's a death metal band. No, it's a black band. No, it's a black and death band. No, it's a death black band. Should we just call it metal, or what's your take on this?
As a fan myself, I like categories, because when you talk to others, if someone wants to describe
Right.
There's a category to put them in, or they sound like
Exactly.
blah blah blah. But Necrophobic is it's both death metal and black metal, but our death metal is not the death metal sounded like, for instance, Dismember and Entombed.
Right.
Our death metal is more melodic and darker feeling, and that's all. And we have had we also have black metal influences,
of course,
and sometimes the one of the categories is a bit more present, but a black death metal band or a death black metal band, I don't know. I started calling this band blackened death metal around '92, or because I wanted to point out that we were not the typical Swedish death metal band.
We find that cool balance between, you know, an old school energy or rawness, if you will, but from the music perspective, we get that modern production. And I think Fredrik did a really good job on this clear production. Maybe a little bit more focused on guitars and drums, but you know, we get some guitar solos and drum fills that could have been on Painkiller, right? Just to stay with the classic albums there. Again, not something that one would expect from a stereotypical death band or a stereotypical black metal band. Was that, you know, going into this, like when you work with third-party people like Fredrik, like what kind of a conversation do you have about, like, hey, this is what we want to get out of this album?
A studio process is hard to describe to someone outside the business. The magic is the actual take that you record. Sound wise, we have worked with him since Rimturism came out in 2006, so he knows the band inside out. But when all the stuff is recorded, he usually starts with an own mix, how he feels.
Okay.
We always give him leads in the start, what to aim for. Everyone picks their own personal sound on their instrument, and Fredrik starts with mix 1, and then we take it from there. First of all, it's finding. It's only one song, because he don't mix all the album and then we throw it in the bin. So he starts with one song.
Expensive.
It's very efficient, and like we are in the studio, there's no chit chatting. It's studio time. We go there. It's very focused, and we record and we leave. Total opposite from how it was when we recorded the first album. Anyhow, and from the mix 1, we have a discussion within the band on our chat forum, what we liked, what we want to hear more of, if there's a sound that should be tweaked and stuff like that. And then we give the information to Fredrik, and then comes mix 2 of the same song, and we listen to both those songs, and then there can be a third mix of that song, or if we were happy. I don't remember how it was on this album, but when the band is fine with the mix, he mixes the whole album. And then we listen to the whole album, and if something must be changed, because in one song it can happen many different stuff from each other. So, but that's how the process looks like.
The result, which has become, I think, a very clear production and a very, very full modern production. and this is this is just my take on it, but makes this album feel more accessible than ever before in a way. And I mean, obviously not to call you guys a pop band, far from it, right? But do you feel that as well? Like, or is it just like, is it time for this true cult, black and death worshipping of albums that are being recorded in wet basements? That time has come and gone.
I don't know how to respond to that, because me personally, I would like to have this album sounding a little more rough. But it's a band thing, and everyone has to agree what to release. Someone maybe wants it cleaner, but I don't think so. But anyhow, but I don't know. We also have really found our soundscape on an album.
Exactly.
There's a lot of things happening. There's leads, and there's melodies, and there's rhythms. So we, instead of making it the roughest and the toughest, we decided that every instrument must be heard.
Right.
So therefore, it maybe is a bit more clean. And now, when I say clean, I probably scare away some fans.
No worries, everybody. This is still an extreme metal, brutal album. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. So that's why it maybe is. But then also we tend to. Next album. When this album has been out for quite a while, and next album we tend to do the opposite.
Exactly.
If we don't fully like this production, but we do now, and we are proud of how it sounds.
There's some really cool songs on this album. I think so far, but I have to listen obviously more to the album. But Clavis Inferni, I think, stands out for me as an album that I want to hear live. I think there's many songs on this album that could do really well live. I was speaking recently to Sven from Aborted, the Belgian death metal band, and he was telling me, like, people are always talking about, like, Gormageddon or old classics, but when we play songs live these days and we say, oh, it's from the old time, there's usually less reaction in the crowd than we play a newer song. How do you feel about this, where you guys have a legacy, you've got lots of material? I can only imagine how hard it is for you guys to all agree on what songs have to be played live. Have you seen an evolution as well, where people want to hear more new stuff?
Yeah, first of all, I sit behind the drums, so I'm not standing
right
close.
You need to hire drum riser. Come on.
I have to fight to get the drums in the center, and then the vocalist can be in the back. I always ask if, of course, I can feel and see the reactions, but not as good as those in the front row.
Of course.
But we also, for the last couple of albums, we have also attracted a younger audience, which is cool. But we always try to make a good live set with a great mixture of the newer songs and the classic songs. So I guess our set is for, like, all our fans. But I think that since the younger audience is in the front and you play a newer song, you get more reaction.
There you go. That's a very logical explanation.
Yeah. Then I don't see the old guy in the back when his foot starts to move to the old classic song.
So tell me, where did you see the light?
There is a new generation of fans. There's also a new generation of bands in extreme metal. One of your younger fans actually shared with me. Her name is Tabitha. She's a big fan of you guys, and she was wondering, with all these, great new bands and releases of younger bands that are coming out that are getting a lot of traction in extreme metal these days. We all know that you are a fan of the 80s classics. There's no doubt about it. People just have to open your Instagram account and they will see that. But do you also keep somewhat of a pulse on what's moving in the newer generation? Like, are you aware of what bands are coming out and that people should check out?
I have to admit that I am not so involved in today's scene as I were when I was younger, because I have a lot of other things to do than hang out at clubs and stuff. But I can mention that last September we did an exclusive show here in Stockholm because the first album celebrated 30 years. There's an anniversary. But instead of playing just songs from that album like a typical band would do, we focused on to make a set out of the 3 albums that came out in the 90s. So we did a show for that. And one of the opening acts was a young band from Sweden. I don't know if it's Stockholm. I think they are from Stockholm, where I come from, or where we come from. They're called Eternal Evil, and that's I saw myself being young in that band because they had that energy that only a young guy can have. They were all over the stage, and they were so enthusiastic. And like we are older now, but we don't stand still on stage. But we have more experience of the stage show than they had. But the energy and the music, was thrash, death mixture. They were really good, and I must buy their album, Eternal Evil. That's a band I can recommend.
So knowing that your heart is with the classics, why is WASP the best band in the world, or is it really Kiss after all?
I cannot choose there because Kiss has a longer history, and my Kiss collection is bigger than the WASP, because I lost WASP after Crimson Idol.
Right.
I haven't had the time yet to check their latest stuff out. I think it's really good. But with Kiss you have so much, and then also Iron Maiden. That's also when I grew up. These were the bands that caught my attention. And nowadays I try to buy the music that I couldn't afford when I was a young guy. And I'm not searching for the new music. I'm searching for even older music from the 70s and stuff. But what happened before I became a hard rocker?
You've got quite some shows announced already, a bunch of festivals as well, in Mexico, and obviously European festivals in the summer. From those shows specifically, like, what can we expect? What should we keep our eyes open for?
New songs, of course, and a great mix of older songs. But if you haven't seen us before, we are not a black metal band on stage. We are like heavy metal band on stage, trying to do what our heroes did back in the 80s. So that separates us a bit. I think that also that stage presence that we have also attracts new people to look to come and visit our shows, because we don't stand still. We even no, I can't say that. No, but I think we are not a typical.
You're not as concerned or let yourself be limited by the stereotypes of black metal.
No. Yeah.
Joachim, there's so much to look forward to. I'm super excited that this album's coming out the day after that we're talking. Always exciting. I think a lot of new fans, younger fans, will find themselves again to your release and your shows. I look forward to seeing you on the road somewhere this year. You'll have enough shows, so I hope that works out. Thank you so much for your time, and I wish you the best tomorrow. I wish you a very busy, extremely hectic day because the release goes so well. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I hope to see you on a stage.
Yeah, thank you for having me on the show. Thank you very much.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.